When a person disappears without a trace in the woods, it is a mind-numbing anomaly. Most people are unaware of the dangers lurking just behind the tree line or in the shadows of the campfire. We are taught as children not to talk to strangers. But when the shadows become strangers, your only option is to run. Here is 5 unsettling cases of people who vanished without a trace. Richard Lee. On September 9, 2004, Richard Lee, an experienced camper, went hiking and camping at Kolchak Lake, but vanished. He had last contacted his brother to say everything was fine. On September 11th, when he failed to return home, his wife reported him missing. Search efforts, including mountain rescue teams, focused on Enchantment Lakes, Kolchak Lake, and Lake Stewart. Richard's campsite was eventually found with his tent, sleeping bag, and food neatly arranged as if he had just stepped away. Despite 4 days of searching, no trace of Richard was ever discovered. A search and rescue professional later reported an eerie feeling at Richard's campsite, as if he was being watched. David Holtz. In July 1971, 9-year-old David Holtz disappeared in mysterious circumstances while on a family camping fishing trip in Sequoia National Park. David had a mental disability and he vanished after taking a separate path back to the campsite near Dorst Creek. An extensive 7-day search failed to turn up any trace of the boy. Bizarrely, on day 8, a tackle box belonging to David was found just half a mile away on a road already searched, and after 2 weeks, officials ended the search. But David's father persisted. Tragically, 18 days after vanishing, David was found dead over 1,000 feet uphill from where he'd disappeared, with vague claims he succumbed to exposure. The strange circumstances surrounding David's disappearance and death in Sequoia National Park remain unexplained. Disturbingly, search planes failed to spot David's bright red and orange shirt he was known to be wearing when he vanished. His location suggests David was somehow transported the distance uphill to the meadow area, adding to the mystery and leading some to speculate that he was attacked by a predator of some sort. But he had no physical wounds. How could David, especially given his mental limitations, could have navigated the treacherous terrain and elevation change all by himself? Sadly, we will never know. Amy Jackson. In August 1966, 18-month-old Amy Jackson disappeared in the middle of the night under bizarre circumstances while camping with her family in Sequoia National Park. The Jacksons were staying at the Deer Creek Campground, located approximately 25 miles east of the town of Porterville, California. According to her parents, young Amy vanished silently from the family's tent during the night without making any sounds or disturbing them. When her disappearance was discovered in the morning, an extensive search was immediately launched involving hundreds of personnel, search and rescue dogs, helicopters, and volunteers. However, absolutely no trace of little Amy could be found anywhere near the campsite. Bloodhounds specifically brought in to help with the search were perplexed by the complete lack of any scent trail for Amy, which was considered highly unusual and baffling for such a young toddler. After combing the area for 4 full days, Amy's body was finally discovered lying at the base of a large rock nearly a mile uphill from the campsite. This distance was deemed highly improbable and suspicious for an 18-month-old child to cover alone overnight. It was impossible. It was as if she simply vanished. Kevin O'Keefe. Kevin O'Keefe went on a solo camping trip in Alaska in September 1985 and mysteriously disappeared. His tent was found crumpled, similar to another case where Patrick Whalen vanished in Montana. Key items like Kevin's sleeping bag were oddly found outside his tent. Search dogs located his boots, glove liner, and knit cap up to half a mile away from his campsite. There were no signs of animal attacks or blood at the campsite, suggesting something happened while Kevin was there. Despite clues pointing inland from where his boots were found, rangers did not conduct an extensive ground search in that direction. The circumstances suggest foul play or paranormal activity may have been involved in Kevin's disappearance in the Alaskan wilderness. Lamar Peppmuller. In November 1953, Lamar moved to Kellogg, Idaho with a keen interest in deer hunting. On November 21st, he set out to hunt in the Slate Creek area but didn't return. His wife reported him missing on November 22nd, and search efforts began, complicated by heavy snowfall that left 20 inches of snow on the ground. Sheriff's deputies and Forest Service personnel joined the search, but initially couldn't locate Lamar or his vehicle. Eventually, they found his car, and 1 mile away, they discovered Lamar's lifeless body protruding from the snow. Near his car, they found only half of a deer carcass, while the other half and Lamar's rifle were missing. The cause of Lamar's death remained unclear, with differing statements about the circumstances. The case is further confounded by the absence of an autopsy. These examples don't even begin to cover the complexity of these true cases. The impact of missing persons on their families and friends is devastating. This was part of an ongoing series exploring facts of unusual disappearances. The facts that we were slapping today came from the book series called Missing 411 by David Paulides. We encourage you to read the books, as they are mind-bending facts. If you found these stories interesting, then feel free to subscribe so that we can continue to unravel these facts together.